Mm. Okay, I think we're live. Welcome to COS Live, brought to you by Support the Springs in the Colorado Springs Chamber and EDC. I am Emma Mitchell, and I am the Member Relations Manager at the Colorado Springs Chamber and EDC. I am here today with Ayano, and she is a yoga instructor at CityROCK in downtown Colorado Springs. Thanks for being here today with me, Ayano.
Thank you, Emma. I'm so grateful to be part of this program this morning and contribute to the community this way. Thank you for the opportunity. My name is Ayano. I teach yoga at CityROCK, and I am also a yoga therapist, studied through Phoenix Rising School of Yoga Therapy and certified through International Association of Yoga Therapy. So in addition to teaching yoga classes, I offer one-on-one yoga therapy sessions that supports you to explore yourself through body. And I also started offering couples sessions with the approach of yoga therapy that supports you and your partner to enhance your relationship. And I am also an active climber. I enjoy climbing both inside and outside. And it's such a bummer that I cannot climb during this time. And to me, rock climbing is really a practice of mindfulness. It is definitely a yang active form that's physically and mentally engaging. And for me, because climbing is a yang form, it complements more quieter, calmer, yin aspect of mindfulness that's practiced through gentle yoga, meditation, and things like that. And today I'd like to talk a bit about why mindfulness is so important, especially during the times like this. In this global pandemic, I imagine a lot of people are going through emotions like worry and anxiety. There may be emotions like sadness, grief, confusion, anger, and frustration, and so on. But then when we direct our awareness to what's happening in a moment, these emotions may not be relevant. For example, I can feel nervous about what might happen in the next few months. But right at this moment, I am actually not under any immediate threat. I am at home and I am safe. However, going into narratives and emotions attached to these stories is a very natural response for our brains. Our brains really like to be thinking about our past and future all the time. And it's very difficult for the brains to stay in the present moment. There are quite a bit of scientific studies around this. Neurologically, our thoughts are in past and future for 50 to 80% of our days. And that is our brain's default mode. Thinking about others, thinking about ourselves, remembering the past, planning for the future. And on the other end, being in now, focusing in the present moment awareness and experience is very similar to being in the zone for athletes, or you might even call it being in the flow. When you're in the zone or in the flow, you are probably not thinking about tonight's dinner or other concerns for the future, right? And so why do our brains do this? Why does it want to be in the past and future most of the time? The reason is found in our evolutionary process. When our ancestors were living in more wild settings, they needed to be looking out for prey that possibly attack them. If I hear a bush rustling, I may dismiss it as something harmless, like a bunny rabbit or a breeze passing by. Or I may get alert and get ready for a possible attack by a prey. And it's pretty apparent which way of being increases likelihood of survival in a tribal time. So it was quite important for our ancestors to stay alert this way in order to survive and pass on their genes. And we are a result of that survival instinct and mechanism. So it is natural for us to be in a state of alert right now. The pandemic is threatening ourselves, our loved ones, and our societies. We are basically in a collective trauma right now. And when we are in this traumatic space, it is difficult for us to stay in present moment because our brain wants to prepare for what comes in the future. So practice of mindfulness can help us see this tendency of our brains that move into narratives, and we can become more aware of negative thoughts and reactions from these thoughts. We will, as we become aware of these thoughts, we will be able to choose how to respond in a moment in between particular events and the reaction. So practice of mindfulness allows us to really see what's true in the moment, what's really happening right now, and choose how to respond from that awareness rather than reacting from habits and tendencies. So for the rest of our time together, I would like to guide you through a meditation practice focusing on breath. This is one of the ways to contemplate the body and the body, explained in a Buddhist scripture called Satipatthana Sutta. It's a big word for me. I don't know if I pronounced that right. And we will sit for maybe 10 minutes or so. This might sound like a long time for some of you, or it might sound like a short time. So wherever you are in the spectrum, let's see if we can stay present in ourselves for the next 10 minutes together as a community. Before we sit, go ahead and take a few moments to stretch out. Maybe reach your hands to the sky, to the side, roll your shoulders, maybe moving your neck side to side. You might even choose to stand up, stretch out your legs, getting ready for the 10 minutes of stillness. Invite movement in your body, however your body wants to move right now. Letting the energy within your body move. And explore your movements for a few more breaths. And as you are ready, find a seat that's comfortable for you. If sitting on the floor with a cushion works for you, you might sit with your legs crossed. If sitting on the chair works better for you, you might have your feet firmly touching the ground. Keep your torso upright and stay alert. Close your eyes. If you choose not to close your eyes, you can keep them open, but bring them to soft gaze. I will complete the meditation with sound of a bell. So staying here as I guide you through this practice. Take a couple deeper breaths in and out. With inhalation, lengthen your spine. With exhalation, see if you can soften any part of your body just a little more. One more deeper breath in and let that breath fall out through your mouth. And as your breath comes back to its natural flow, bring your awareness to your breath. Notice where in your body the breath is felt most. Maybe it's in your belly, rising and falling. It might be in your rib cage, expanding and contracting. It may be the sensation of the breath moving through the back of your throat. And it may be the slight change in the temperature of the air moving through your nostrils. It may be the touch of the air between your nose and your upper lip. Wherever it might be, draw your awareness to your body where you can feel your breath. Connect with your breath and stay with your breath. As you stay with your breath this way, become aware of the breaths coming in. Breathing in, knowing I am breathing in. Become aware of the breath moving out, breathing out, knowing I am breathing out. Be with your inhalation. Be with your exhalation. And start noticing the length of your breath, the length of your inhalation, the length of your exhalation. Whether the breath is long or short, deep or shallow, just notice as they are. Nothing needs to be changed or fixed. Just be with your breath as they are. Taking in the whole experience of this breath. I am breathing in. Taking in the whole experience of this breath. I am breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Calming the breath. I am breathing in. Calming the breath. I am breathing out. Bring your awareness to the breath as it shifts from inhalation to exhalation. And there is a subtle pause between your inhalation and exhalation. Just become aware of that. And become aware of that pause between your exhalation and inhalation as the breath shifts from moving in to moving out. be with all the parts of your breath. Taking in the whole experience of this breath. I am breathing in. Taking in the whole experience of this breath. I am breathing out. Calming the breath. I am breathing in. Calming the breath. I am breathing out. Take a deeper breath in and let it fall out. As you are ready, coming back to the space that's surrounding you. And if you were able to really be in that present moment in that short time or not, whatever your experience might have been, there's no need for judgment. Practice of mindfulness is really about that constant practice and coming back to it over and over, and you just cultivate over time. So thank you for joining me for the practice. Thank you, Emma.
That was so wonderful. Thank you. Oh my goodness. And I love that that's only 10 minutes. People can take a 10-minute break during their workday and slow down and really get present with the moment.
Yeah, it's hard to really carve out like 2 hours for meditation, and it's hard to sit for 2 hours every day.
Right.
10 minutes. Yeah, we can probably find that 10 minutes.
Yeah. So for me, I like to meditate in the morning, and I've heard some people say evening is better. Do you have recommendations for people on a good time to choose to even just take 5 minutes?
So it really depends on intention of the meditation is how I feel. If you study through particular school or lineage, they probably have different, set ways that they invite you to practice. For instance, Goenka lineage Vipassana, if you're at home, you're invited to practice like 1 hour in the morning, 1 hour in the evening, which is very hard for a lot of us. So I think in the morning, I feel like it really sets the day. The practice of meditation can really set the day and set that day's intention almost. And that can be helpful practice for those of you who meditate in the morning. Evening meditation can really settle you back into that calm space before you go into sleep. And sleeping really allows us to decompress and let go of all the tension and stress. And that might be hard these days. I do have weird dreams because of this whole pandemic. And meditation before going to sleep definitely supports that decompression and allows deeper sleep. So I would say it really depends on like where you can fit in your day and what your intention might be.
That's a good answer. I like that. Are there books or videos or podcasts or anything that you would recommend if somebody was interested in starting with meditation or learning more about the practice?
There are a lot nowadays,
Yeah.
especially. I know there are a lot of apps. I don't necessarily use apps, but I like one called Insight Timer. You don't have to choose guided meditation. You can just choose time and make the bell to ring after whatever amount of time. That way I won't be like, oh, is it 10 minutes yet? Is it 20 minutes yet? Is it 1 hour yet? You know, I can just sit still for that length of time and letting the app do the time tracking. So I like that one. If you like guided meditation, I know there are a lot on YouTube, as well as those apps. I don't have particular one that I constantly go back and use. I do like practice in Vipassana style meditation. So if that's something you're interested, you can look into that. Also, I'm aware that I think it's Insight Meditation Center in California, they offer 8 in the morning live YouTube every morning on weekdays. But I might not have the right name right now. Sorry.
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
No, well, if you think of it later, you can put it in the comments too.
Definitely, yeah. And I can put the link to it.
Yeah, that would be great.
I do have a recorded meditation that I recorded on my website, and I can put that in the link too if anybody's interested.
That's perfect. That was going to be my next question. Are you doing guided meditations or instruction live, or are you're doing recordings on your website?
I have a couple recordings on the website, and I'm offering Friday evening meditation right now as part of CityROCK's program. It's for free for anyone to join. So there are event pages on CityROCK website as well as Facebook page.
Okay.
So you can find that. It's Friday at 7.
Okay. And you're also doing yoga instruction too?
Not right now because CityROCK is closed and we can't really do in-person yoga instructions. And I know a lot of people do offer beautiful classes online.
Yeah. I just did a virtual yoga on Saturday because my friend teaches, and it was interesting. It's cool that you can do it at home, but it's hard to see sometimes the exact pose if you're not completely familiar with it.
Right. And then maybe you might bring your intention in a different place, how you might explore your body through what's being instructed and not make it something that you have to do it perfectly.
Oh, that's a good point. I like that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate this, and I appreciate you sharing this with the community today. And please, if there's any questions on the chat, if you don't mind monitoring that a little bit in case and answering those questions for people, that would be wonderful.
No problem. Thank you for the opportunity today.
Yes, thank you. Have a good rest of your day, Ayano.
You too, Emma.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.